For my research, I was looking at Morningside Hospital, which was a psychiatric inpatient hospital in Portland, Oregon. I was looking at patients with depression in these patient records from 1955 to 1958. And this was a really interesting case for American psychiatry, especially with the time period that it falls in. The Diagnostic and Statistic Manual of Mental Disorders comes out in 1952, and we're seeing American psychiatry at this peak of institutionalization. And at the same time, a large portion of Morningside's patients are from Alaska, which was not yet a state. So there was no capacity to treat the mentally insane in Alaska, where they were still deemed criminals for being insane. So a large portion of them are being sent down to Morningside. So we're also having this interesting dynamic of how culture and politics are influencing how mental illness was being viewed and treated. A third interesting aspect was this rise of these wonder drugs after World War II, like Thorazine and Marsalid, which were seen as these magic bullet cures for mental disorders that are now being seen as treatable. And these are being seen in the Morningside records. We're seeing a very interesting dynamic and a rich narrative of the doctors struggling to place these DSM-1 labels on the patients, struggling to figure out how to treat them. You can tell that they deeply do care for the patients, but they are sort of still dealing with a lot of the problems that can be argued we're still seeing in American psychiatry today. Depression has only continued to grow and is now extremely prevalent in the United States and in the world. So this case study offers a really interesting narrative of how we saw depression in the 1950s and sort of the roots of what these problems that we're still seeing today in American psychiatry.